So, since we're already here, I thought I'd do a little story time about the time I jumped out of a third story window. So, what had happened was that I had moved in due to the illegal practices of a management company that for some fucking reason I now reside in one of their apartments. I had to find a new place to live. So I moved in with these four girls, didn't know who the hell they were, literally found them on a roommate finding app. Don't ever do that. And tell me why one of them literally wanted to become me. Like, I literally would be walking around, this girl would be walking around with the same outfit that I got on. Would go downstairs in an outfit, myself in an outfit. I would see her in another outfit. She would come back upstairs where like the group of girls that were all hanging out would be at in the outfit that I came in. So obviously she went and changed. Scary. Anyway, I lived there for some time. Wasn't any issue up until I was invited to some like smoke out that they were having at one of the apartments that are around here. And we're all chilling, talking, whatever. We're on the phone, or I'm on the phone with a friend, or who I then thought was a friend. And I see one of the girls that I moved in, actually she was the one that contacted me to move into the place. I see her go into a room alone with some other girl. Like, the girl pulled her into the room. They come back, whole attitude changed. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, long story short, I text her, after a couple days, I was like, hey, so I've just noticed that there's been like a slight change in the atmosphere, and I just don't know if I did something, because sometimes I can come off a little bit as never aggressive, assertive. Because I will be damned if I have to be aggressive. Why the hell am I here? Anyway. But actually that's a good ass fucking question. If I gotta be aggressive with you, I can just leave. Like, I don't have to rough up myself. What? I texted her, I said, hey, I don't know if anything's been going on between you and I that I haven't noticed on my part, but if there is something that I am doing on my end that is, upsetting you, please let me know. Because I'm not doing it intentionally. She was like, no, that's fine. You didn't do anything. I don't know why you're getting that. So, don't worry about it. So I was like, cool, shit. All right, cool. And I kept it pushing, kept it moving. Only to then discover that this girl was lying, and she did, in fact, have a problem with me. And I didn't know what the fuck it was until I started noticing some odd behaviors. And I'm not exactly sure what caught me on to these odd behaviors, because literally I mind my business. I go about my day. If you try me, I'm ready at all times. I stay at 85. So if you see that I'm like just chilling, I'm at 85. So when people go like, oh, she went 0 to 100. Nah, bitch, I was sitting at 85. Anyway, I only had to go about a couple, sitting at 85. This girl was apparently interested in some kind of relation with an ex of mine, and she had heard things or whatever the hell it was about whatever this, that, and I genuinely do not know. I genuinely do not care. But it was almost as if I had a tick. And I say tick not to be disrespectful, but simply to say this girl would not leave me the hell alone. I have no issues with who you're dating, and me and this man are not together. In fact, I'm pretty sure we are both denying that we actually even know each other at this fucking point. So why are you being weird? It was almost as if you want to have problems. And it was one of the things that I noticed when I first moved into the apartment. Literally within 2 days of moving in, there was this massive fight between the roommates and some other group of people that were in town that had clashed or some shit. Somebody's toe fell off. It was crazy. I have never in my life, I done been through some crazy shit before. Like, I was climbing goddamn to the second floor of the apartment that I was living in before, and I thought that was crazy. Nah, these bitches was going through like, it was it was the trenches over there. So that was probably my first warning, my first red flag that I should have listened to. But she just wanted there to be a problem between us. And at this point, I'm fairly certain it was like clout chasing. And I say clout chasing specifically simply for the fact that I had heard her multiple times speak to her friends, and they would discuss how they would like hang out with a certain group of girls or talk to a certain group of guys just so that they can get put onto something. And I was just like, oh my God. No, first of all, if you know me, you know I like to be by myself, maybe one other person, not right now though, and like my cat, not for too long, because people be doing some weird shit on regular days and it don't be adding up, and I need shit to be adding up, because now I want to know why the hell you being weird. But so I wasn't with the bullshit, My only, whatever the fuck, do your thing, live your life. I mean, I remember like when I was like 19, 18, I remember being 18, 19 years old at the time, or not at the time, but at a time. And yeah, it was, hey, do you have this guy's number? He knows where the parties are. Or hey, can you contact this person? They ain't got that sweet. That was junior year. Wait until you're 21. Your brain cells are 4 years. You're almost developed. Like, it's like stuff like that, or can this guy buy his alcohol? Like, so I understand that, but it was just whatever. I was 23 at the time, so I definitely was like over it. And at the time I was going through a whole bunch of extra shit. So I didn't want to have any involvement with anything. But she just wouldn't stop. And I remember her and I getting into an altercation where that was just bleh. But before the altercation, there was an incident where there was apparently a prank that was pulled on me that was supposed to be laughing. And it was supposed to be laughy, funny, JoJo jokes. But like the prank was during homecoming. I now notice it was during homecoming weekend, sometime in October. And I remember like a bunch of people coming over at the house, because there was like 4 girls within ourselves, within ourselves, 4 girls with myself, and then there's like a bunch of their friends coming over. So it was a pretty packed area. One of the I'm sorry, I'm like playing it in my mind and then also thinking about where the fuck I'm at in the storytelling, so you guys have a good grasp of what the hell was going on at that time period. So I was 23, at the time, 22 at the time, and there was a group of guys that came over, and one of them happened to be a child. So an old childhood friend came over, and somehow they knew each other, I guess, and I told one of the other roommates, hey, I actually know that guy. Me and him used to be really close friends when we were like in 2nd and 3rd grade. Mainly 3rd, because I left after 3rd grade. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that she knew him. And she was like, the girl that I was talking to, I guess it was one of their friends, was like, oh, you should ask her how she knows him. And I was like, oh, okay. And I thought that was weird and odd. And back to the prank. That was some tea. Somewhere in there was some tea. So anyway, she was like, yeah, you should find out how she knows him. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't really care. This guy was like, last time I saw this guy, he was in 3rd grade. And we were like, I'm pretty sure he thought I was a boy because I was a tomboy. So, okay. A couple weeks go by. Whatever, cool, whatever. We had purchased like bar stools for the apartment, and I hadn't had cash on me to give to her, since she purchased it all, and we were just supposed to give her the money for it, which I thought was like some broke bitch behavior, but that's neither here nor there. I get it. You spent your money. You want to get your money back. So a few weeks go by and I'm trying to figure it out now. Go upstairs and just kind of chill out in my room. I get a phone call from who I then considered a friend. This bitch calls me, pretty much is pretending that she's like about to like have a mental breakdown and she's shooting things up. Like from things that I've heard her say sometimes or whatever, I was like concerned as to where her headspace was. But then this particular comment kind of like freaked me out because I was like, where are you? And she's like, oh, I'm at the gym. But like, how are you at the gym? I just came from the gym. I know what the gym sounds like since I spend like 6 days out of the goddamn week at the time at the gym, and I know what the gym sounds like, and it does not sound like a gym, but it does sound like everything that's happening outside my window. Everything that's happening outside my window is echoing on the phone that I'm on with you, you know? So, I was like, are you sure you're at the gym? Because I literally I think I hear you. As soon as I said that, outside my window, I hear scruffling of feet downstairs in the apartment. And this is a duplex at the time that I was staying at. So it was a storefront and then buildings on top. Where it was like a convenience store. Anyway, I heard shuffling feet, and then I hear a door close. And then I hear, at the same time, so simultaneously, on the phone, somebody close the door. So then by that time, I'm like, girl, where are you? Because you say this and you're not, you don't sound like it. And one thing about it, I'll ask you a question. I'm not listening to what you're saying. I am looking at what you're doing, okay? Because motherfuckers will lie, and if they're smart enough, they will lie with everything else. But if they're not, you catch them. Anyway, so I could only hear the tone in her voice. She was like, yeah, no, I'm totally here. And then it was almost as if like the prank like escalated, and I heard popping sounds. And I heard popping sounds almost like simultaneously after the phone. After I was like, hey, are you like, because I can hear your feet. And I can imagine this was like a distraction kind of thing where it was like, oh crap, she kind of knows like we're here. So like, fuck, we got to find something else. And so then it became like the popping of the like rocks, you know, like the popping of pop rocks or whatever for firecracker or that were firecrackers. I assumed that they were, you know, bullets because so at this time I'm thinking it's bullets because, you know, I ain't really heard a gun pop off like that in a long time at that time. Like I've never heard a gunshot, at least in the States, you know? So I was like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Like this girl legitimately, I kid you not, changes her tone, makes herself sound like hostile or aggressive or like angered on the phone, and she's like, yeah, like just like taunting, right? She's like, you know, I'm getting real sick and tired of like people, da da da, and I'm hearing like pops every single time that she's doing that, pops, like every time she's like, and I'm getting real pop, sick and pop, and then I'm hearing like screaming, like screeching, like either outside or like. So yeah, at this point I'm like like what the fuck is going on? Because I'm hearing the screeching and I'm hearing her do like this, I guess, voice acting that she's doing. And I hear her, keep in mind, I invited this girl over because me and her had been friendly, but I now notice that her and I would become friends. Things would like get fucked up in my life, and then she would leave, things would get better, and then as soon as things got better, she would come back around again, and then shit would turn like shitty again, and then I would be like, oh fuck, and then I would have to, it was kind of like a continuous kind of thing like that. And I even mentioned it to one of her family members, so you know, at least I recognized it. Apparently I didn't care to listen to my goddamn self at the time. Anyway, she was like, yeah, no, I'm fine, pop, you know what I mean? Like that's how it sounded. And I was like, what the actual fuck? So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go outside and see what's going on because I'm not gonna be like freaked out. In the process of like going to open the door, I hear somebody shaking chains. Is shaking chains outside of the bedroom window. Like, I'm sorry, bedroom window, the bedroom door. So the only other access out of my bedroom is the door outside of the window itself, right? So, excuse me. So I like, you know, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go out through the window, so I went to the door because I know that's a question of yours. Oh my god, why didn't you just go to the door? Really? Oh my god, I think I tried that, bitch. Anyway, so I went to go open the door, and like somebody like was standing outside. So I was like, oh wow, so somebody is inside of the house, and I could possibly be in danger because if I go outside and I hear somebody like, baby, I'm black. We don't go looking for nothing. We don't do that shit. So I obviously was like, okay, well, I can't go through the door. So the only other escape route, shaking change, or whatever the fuck. And so I'm like, okay, well, the only other option that I have here is through the window, because if sis is really going off and I'm hearing pop, pop, pop in my own apartment downstairs. Keep in mind, I don't have a true recollection of what gunshots sound like. I know that it was like a civil war in my country, but I was like really super young at the time. So I don't have quite a good as memory. I do remember like visuals, but not like sceneries, you know? So I couldn't comprehend that when you hear bullets, you know they're bullets. You know what I mean? So that, I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta get out, because one thing's for sure, two things for certain, we can ask all these questions once you're safe. I also remember thinking like, oh my God, like, am I really about to go through this window? And then I thought to myself, like, but you really about to ask yourself if you're about to go through this window and you know what the fuck could be possibly going outside? Like, if you want to be dumb, you could do that on your own fucking time, but get me the fuck up out of here. And so like my like fight risk came the fuck on, and I was like, all right, cool. And so I opened the window, and for some reason, out of all the bedrooms that were there, my window was the one that did not have a screen. So that was convenient. Didn't have to push anything out. I'm still on the phone with this girl because I'm like, I'm concerned for her, but I'm also like, you not gonna get me. You know what I mean? So, which is an illness. In fucking illness. I'm still getting treated for it. Caring about people more than I care about myself. Anyway, so I'm like, oh crap. Okay, so I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, are you okay? And she was like, she at this point, she's like, all I hear is pops and then like aggressive tone, pop, aggressive tone. It is almost as if it's like, and this is also around the same time that there was like multiple like mass shootings going around. So like, bitch was not about to find out if she was gonna be part of like the numbers that they be pulling out. You know, I was not about to do that. So, I was like, fuck it. I didn't even have my shoes on, bitch. I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Luckily, because God is always with me, okay? There just so happened to be a nice little awning outside of my windowsill that like was metal, even better. Thank you, salon person. You are an angel. Anyway, she probably complained about the cost of it anyway. So it's like slanted, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. So if I could slide on, at this point, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, okay, so it's slanted. So, okay, I was like, okay, let me just, if I go sliding down, I can slow down my momentum. And then by the time I get down, my trajectory won't be as, you know, I won't be at full force window ground, you know, at least there'll be something like slow down, like slowly, what's the word? It's like gradually, slowly slow down my trajectory is what I'm going to add. This windowsill would slow down my trajectory when I hit the ground, you know, so there wouldn't be so much force hitting me at impact. Quick little plan. I still have her on the phone and she's still going off because my anxiety bits are popping off, right? Keep in mind, I just came from the gym. Adrenaline's popping off. So, then, shortly after my decision to go down the window, I'm still on the phone with her and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, fuck it. I gotta go. It's either get shot or go this window, you know? So I was like, fuck it. I went down the window. When I tell you as I'm going down the window, I'm like, hold the fuck on. This is some scary shit. This is some crazy shit. why the fuck would I be going out the window? And so halfway out the window, I grab onto the sill and I'm like, okay, fuck it. Fuck it. And try to climb back up, using my little grip feet onto the brick. And I can't do so because adrenaline's making me sweat and I can't grip the brick wall with my feet. Yeah, so shortly after my decision to go down the window, I'm like, fuck it, I can't do this because this is crazy. Whatever the fuck sis is going through, she'll figure it out. Anyway, so I'm trying to climb back upstairs. My feet are too sweaty to, grab, and I'm like, fuck, if I had just jumped outside the window with fucking the shoes I had on before, I would be fine and dandy and nothing would be a problem. But I didn't, so here we are. After making that decision of jumping out the window, feet being sweaty, I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? I'm either gonna have to actually drop, like go full in, or like I'm just gonna fall over here. So I'm like, fuck it. Just so happens, as I'm having this contemplating thought, I hear on the other side of the, of the building that I'm in, hey, are you okay? From like, and I'm like, that's a good question. And this is how I know I'm sick. That is not a time to think shit's funny. And I thought that was the funniest fucking question I had ever been asked at a period in time. To this day. Second only to asking, am I okay in another situation? But that takes the bar. So, I was like, no, I mean, at first I was like, no, I'm okay. No, actually, I didn't say anything because I was like, fuck, I have to, like, obviously, I don't want to have to explain to anybody, officer or firefighter, why the fuck I'm hanging outside the window, especially come homecoming. Right? So I'm like, oh, fuck, I can go back in. Couldn't go back in because, like I said, sweaty feet. So eventually I was like, okay, cool. I don't want to be unalived yet. So, yeah, you can help me out, And literally within 15 minutes go by, right? Maybe not even. Maybe it just feels like 15 minutes in my head because it's probably a lot less than that. 15 minutes or whatever the fuck is going on. The firefighters, the police, the ambulance, I can't even imagine or remember if they came in. Or if the ambulance came, but I know actually, yes, they did. I didn't know if they were first on site. But they came up. And the firefighter and the police officers, they're all like, are you okay? Like, what the hell? They show up. But by the time they show up, I was envisioning what the hell was happening as I'm saying it. Before they show up, I was like, fuck it. I'm not about to wait for these motherfuckers to show up. I see in the corner of my eye, some group of guys or people walk by and they're like, obviously seeing a twig bitch hanging outside a window, are like, what the fuck, are you okay? And there was a guy there who looked extremely similar in looks to a guy that I went to high school with. But anyway, that's neither here or there. He was like, oh, I'll catch you. Just drop. Like, what the fuck? Just drop what, nigga? You know what I mean? Like, I'll catch you. One thing about it, two things for sure. No. Not in the situation. Not in the situation. So anyway, I was like, fuck it. Let me just test out my theory. I was out here testing out fucking theories in life or death situations. Sick. Anyway, so I'm like, fuck it. Let me try my fucking theory. I slid down the little awning that was there, and I landed on my feet. The impact was sudden. I threw myself, it kind of tilted me back. So, I land back and my vision kind of went, ugh, because I was just looking at the night sky, and I was like, wow, that's nice. That worked. My theory worked. And then I recognized that I didn't have a wig on, and I heard sirens. So I quickly went and put those on, and I was about to just head back upstairs into the house and be like, well, that was a good day. And the cops were like, the ambulance were like, you need to get your vitals checked and we will see how things are. And I was like, okay, cool, but I'm fine. Like, I don't need to have anything. Like, I don't need to go to the hospital or anything. Like, I didn't hit my head. And they were asking me my name, what my birthday was. And at this time, I was very defensive because I had some weird ass shit. Like, some, like, just suspicious ass shit happened in the town that I'm residing in, occurring at that time. So to be just giving strangers out my name and birth date, especially after I just dealt with, like, Miss trying to steal identity theft over here. Like, no. No. So I was, like, silent on that, but I gave them my name. I did not give them my birth date. You are not gonna get me. My creditor might actually thank you if you paid a couple bills at the time. So I asked them, like, I don't want to go to the hospital, but I'll go in the ambulance. And I wasn't gonna go to the hospital. I just wanted to, like, go and get my vitals checked to make sure I wasn't gonna die. So that's cool. Go in the ambulance. I get my vitals checked. While I'm in the ambulance, there's like 30, not 30. There's like 4 people literally in the ambulance. And there's one that's taking my vital. And then this weird thing happened where they just kind of all paused, were staring in my direction. And at this point I was like, oh my God, do they find out I have like a green heart or something? Like, I don't know, some like sci-fi shit. An illness. I can't take shit seriously. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? And these people are like staring at me. Probably because they're like, this bitch just jumped out of a fucking window. But of course at the time thinking, did they find out anyway? So I get out and I get out of the ambulance and they're like, oh, you know, my vitals were fine, which is like, I was like, okay, cool, that's great, you know. They're like, yeah, no, we're still gonna take you to the hospital though. And I'm literally sitting there like, what did you not hear me say? And what did you not hear this heart monitor crap say, bitch? It says I'm good. So they were like, no, we're gonna take you to the hospital through the ambulance. And I'm literally sitting there like, no, because if you take me in my head, because I can't, like, I'm thinking about this logically. These people are just on scene like, what the fuck is going on? I'm thinking, no, because if I take the ambulance, they're going to charge me $20,000 just for riding in this goddamn ambulance. I'm not taking this ambulance. I cannot afford that much money on medical bills. I then hear an officer say, well, if she doesn't want to take the ambulance, I'll be more than happy to take you in the squad car. And I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. I can take the squad car, but I'm not going in the ambulance because, like I said, I'm not paying that much money. You got me fucked up. The credit score is already dangling on a string. The last thing I need is that shit on my credit. And yes, these were my thoughts at that time. This is how I know I was okay. This is how I know I was fine. I was thinking rational financial choices in an unprecedented situation. I was good. Anyway, so we're in the squad car. And while I'm in the squad car, I'm kind of like replaying like what's going on, like what had happened. And I was like, did this girl have anything to do with this? The girl that was on the phone? Because like this just seems... I'm sitting in the squad car contemplating like, oh my God, like what the fuck happened? Like kind of slowly getting off of the shock factor and kind of like rationalizing what's actually occurring and not just thinking to survive. I was like, oh my God, did this girl do this on purpose? Because I remember saying, like, she came over one time and I may have said like a joke that I thought was funny, and she's cracked multiple. Like, one thing I've noticed about people, they have no self-restraint when it comes to tearing me apart. Motherfuckers will I was just talking to a friend earlier today, and I was saying like motherfuckers who I've never ever met a day in my life are making commentaries about how my vagina smells. Whose face has been in my vagina that in the last several years would know that? You know, like anyway, like will plow me with literally plow me in the asshole with no lube with their insults and jokes. And I won't respond. I won't say anything. I won't do anything. Mainly because I think because I had the mask on. So like when I have the mask on, I just kind of look like this. Like, you know. When I do, I got a mouth on me. Okay. And I stay at 85. So if you ready to stop talking as well and throw hands, baby, let me know. Okay. So. But the level in which it takes for me to get there is a lot. Because, like I said, why would I get aggressive with you if I can just leave? Fuck, look like rocking my stuff out with your ass for. So, I'm in the back of the squad car thinking, oh my God, I wonder if this has anything to do with like a comment I made about... Actually, it wasn't even a comment. I think it was just a video of like... She had made it in like a comment about insecurities that she had, and I thought I was helping her out by fixing the SoSled insecurity. Anyway, she must have taken that fucking personal because I'm in the backseat of a fucking car. Bitch. Legitimately just jumped out of a window for it, you know? So as soon as I said that, because I said it out loud, I don't know, but I thought I saw the squad person in that car intentionally go, burp, burp, like, and I did in fact hit my head against the window. So I was like, you know, like that stepped me dead in my track. I was like, yeah. I'm hearing like in my head like, it's a setup. It's a setup. This is a setup. Like, I'm just hearing, it's a setup. Bitch, this is a setup. Keep in mind, I grew up in Plymouth. My dad drove an SUV and would take us to the library for exciting, fun time at the library. I don't know shit about setups. Okay? But my old girl that, like, I refer to as my spirit woman... She was talking. She was like, these bitches got you fucked up, bitch. You don't know what the fuck. These bitches got you fucked up. If you didn't know what the fuck was going on, that's what the fuck is going on. These bitches got you fucked up. They don't set your ass up. Bitch, you better be smart about this. Say less, sis. You know what I mean? You right. Because one thing about it, two things for sure. Why the fuck would I lie to myself? You know? And plus, I got a problem with trusting my instinct, but there are cases where, like, your instincts don't even give you a chance to like debate it, you know? So I'm like, okay, that was odd. We get to the hospital. This is a major hospital, like a huge, one of the world's renowned hospitals. We get to the hospital, right? And, or I guess this is one of their branches. We get to the hospital and in the emergency route, I see a vehicle pull up at the same time as me and the officer. So the ambulance arrives at the same time me and the officer arrives. I'm barefoot. I walk out of the ambulance room, like car, like room. And like, okay, so outside of it being weird that the ambulance popped up at the same time as the squad car, I was like, okay, maybe they're just like, either there's another person that they went to go see, or there is somebody else that needed help and they just happened to come in at the same time. But I'm watching, right? So I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm hearing, and I hear somebody say, well, I guess we're going to find out which one of them is a sociopath. Now, I'm a lot of things. I'm crazy sometimes. I'm stupid when I, over some stupid shit. A psychopath? A sociopath? Those people lack emotion. One thing about it, once you get to know me, I'm all emotion. It's actually exhausting. And like, okay, so outside of it being weird that the ambulance popped up at the same time as the squad car, I was like, okay, maybe they're just like, either there's another person that they went to go see, or there is somebody else that needed help and they just happened to come in at the same time. But I'm watching, right? So I'm watching and I'm listening and I'm hearing, and I hear somebody say, well, I guess we're going to find out which one of them is a sociopath. Now, I'm a lot of things. I'm crazy sometimes. I'm stupid when I, over some stupid shit. A psychopath? A sociopath? Those people lack emotion. One thing about it, once you get to know me, I'm all emotion. It's actually exhausting. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I know I'm not a sociopath. Is that her right there? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, we go into the emergency room. They put me in a room, and it's the exact same room that I was in a few months prior, explaining to their social worker that I did not feel comfortable in my apartment at the time with my two other roommates because I felt like my life was in danger. That exact same room. So, I think at the time they were like, oh, you're just joking, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, I just go home then, So, they gave me like resources, but at the same time, it was also like we can have somebody come to the house and like hang out with you if that's what you want. And I was just like, so yeah, we're doing that. And, we're doing that as in like I'm in the room with like a group. Like I'm talking, there's like now about 4 or 5 extra officers. I don't know why my 5'5", 100 and I guess at the time 18-pound self needed to have 5 officers escort her to a tiny room, but they did. And then, let's see, a couple nurses came in, and there was this one nurse who came in. She had a mask on. This bitch had a syringe in her hand. I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? And at this point, my spirit woman is like, And at this point, I'm like, oh shit, something's going on. Something ain't right, and I don't like it. So I'm like, hold on. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, what's going on? I'm okay. Like, I don't need to have any more, like I don't need any help. I was fine when I was at the location y'all saw me at. Now all of a sudden there's like a wide range of people surrounding me. There's a bitch here with a fucking syringe looking like the old landlord that illegally tossed me out of my apartment on a Sunday with like 7 hours notice. Actually, it was a little less than that. It was being gracious with that one. With a syringe in her hand, I'm not saying that she was. I'm just saying the coloring in her hair looked extremely familiar. And they're like, oh, we're going to need you to, we need you to relax. We need you to relax. Honey, I am relaxed, but you are the one popping up here with a goddamn syringe in your hand. So there's that. So I'm like, no, I'm fine. As I'm telling them, I'm fine. Like, nothing needs to be done. I'm perfectly okay. These people, like, the officers, like, it was almost as if it was, like, straight chaos. And I was just, like, in the middle of it. It was literally an episode of, like, ER, but it was, like, the opening scenes when it's, like, this, where, but it's, like, kind of slow. But I was kind of in the middle of it. So I was, like, trying to figure it all out at the same time. So the lady with the syringe in her hand is like, okay, we need you to relax. We need you to relax so we can, like, or else we're going to have to, like, but at the same time, you're also telling me you need to take my pants off and like, you need me to calm down some more. But there's like 10 people in this room right now. in a situation that I told you I was perfectly fine. I was like, you guys even checked in the ambulance that I was fine. So why are we here? You're also holding a fucking syringe in your hand, telling me, hey, if you don't calm down. So then, sorry, I have neighbors here, and honey, these walls are as thin as some of these bitches' walls, okay? So I'm like, okay, well, I can calm down, but you're also charging towards me with a fucking syringe, you know? And at this whole time, I go into full panic mode, because I was like, okay, I was fine where I was, just jumping out of the window. Now you're like further like burdening me with all these like people who are literally like, it was like this. You gotta calm down. You gotta calm down. If anybody needs to calm down in this entire situation, it's you guys. And these were nice to have people. So these were like probably like the younger group of people that just wanted to like work the night shift at this particular hospital, and so they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. I could feel the inexperience. So anyway, charging nurse here, syringe, tells me to calm down, and I'm like, you know what? I just need my baby. I just need my baby. I just need my baby. And when I say I need my baby, oh my God, fuck. I mean this baby. Hey. Tell these people hello. So anyway, I was talking about I need my cat, you know? Thought there was more couch than that. So I was like, I need my baby. I just need my Bible. I need my baby. I need my Bible. I need my baby. And they were like, okay, we'll get you your Bible. Okay, we'll get you your Bible. Give you my Bible. While I'm like sitting there, I have my Bible in my hand now, and they're like, okay, well, now we need to inject you. And at this point, I'm like, what the what is with the injecting? Like, I didn't even understand what the hell was going on. It was, why did I need to, I don't know what the hell. It may have been like a muscle relaxer or some kind of like calming, but I don't do like meds like that. And so I already knew how I would have responded to it, which was wrong and like just. And also, you see a strange person you ain't never met before in a toxic environment situation, and they got in a syringe. Child, ain't nobody trying to get injected with nothing. Shit, the pandemic wasn't even a thing back then, and I was stressed the fuck out about a goddamn needle. Anyway, so eventually though, what ended up happening is that they had to literally grab me, and then put me like in a like hold, and then as soon as they did that, I was injected with whatever the fuck it was, and I was out like a light. Like I'm talking, I was out like a light. Yeah, like a light, out like a light. Like I was that, okay? And so, ooh, that's a little braid. Where'd my melon go? Okay. So, hold on. I'm trying to get it back where it was. I know how you girls like to toss out. Oh my God, she wants to be white so bad. Why don't you have to have the light so bright? Because, bitch, I can't. Anyway, so I am now, and I wake up. I don't know how much time has passed since. So, yeah. I'm out, I wake up, I don't know how much time has passed. I'm laid out in a operating table. I'm sorry, not an operating table. In a observation table. Those like the little brain MRI machine. I'm in an MRI machine, and I like do one of these like that, because what the fuck is going on, you know? And to the side, I see this big, bulky, could play Santa on Christmas guy at my table, like my little thingy that I was on, posted on there. There's like 2 or 3 other people that are by that table that I'm laid out on. Like, and then across the room, there's like the room, I see this kid who's on the other side of the room, but there's a glass and I can see him. And I say kid because couldn't have been more than 20 or 21. Children, okay? I mean, adults, but like, you know what I mean? You know, like, now you know some weird shit's going on. How y'all all look like we could literally all be in the same graduating class? Where the adults at? You know? So I look over and I'm seeing like these strange people, and I'm in an MRI machine thingamajigger, and I see what's it called? They're like, oh, you need to lay back down, and I'm like, no, I like, what the fuck? I was like, no, I don't want to, like, I don't want to get an MRI, like, what the hell? And so I'm like, what the fuck? And I don't have a guardian, so I have absolutely no idea how the fuck they just decided to put me in a fucking MRI machine, because I sure as hell didn't give them fucking permission. And last time I checked, you kind of need to have that happen unless it's a doctor's request. And everybody that looked on that floor looked like they'd do anything but be doctors. Okay? Okay. I know one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Not that many hospitals have doctors working past 10 p.m. And if they are, baby, they are shelling in money. And I know for a fucking fact, not a doctor around here was shelling out money that night. So, where all the adults at, right? Anyway, so I'm like, no, I don't want to get this MRI machine done, like, to me, because, why is it happening? I feel like my autonomy is being taken like advantage of, because what the actual fuck is going on? May I add, before I even had been ejected, these people had ripped my pants off, ripped my like shirt off or whatever, and were trying to put me in a hospital gown. So at this point, I'm in a hospital. At this point, I'm in a hospital gown, laid out in an MRI machine, surrounded by people I had absolutely no idea existed about 20 minutes ago, because I was probably blacked the fuck out. So they're like, oh no, like you have to get back down. You have to get back down on the table or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get. They're actually, at this point, they weren't even talking to me. They were just literally physically restraining me on the MRI machine. And before I knew it, somebody had injected me again, because I don't remember what the fuck happened, because I was out like a light again. And the next time I did get back up, or I did receive consciousness, I remember being either like being rushed down a hallway with two individuals, one for sure, I don't know about the other one, but some white lady was like, once again, looking young as fuck. Like, where are the adults? And I'm like, where? Not that like her being a white lady, she couldn't have been, and young, she couldn't have been a doctor or anything, but I've worked in the healthcare field. It's one thing when you've never been behind the scenes. It's an entire different game show when you have. And so you can kind of recognize when shit's not adding up, you know? And so shit wasn't adding up, even like gaining and like losing consciousness. I'm looking up. I finally like peek my eyes open, because I remember being like rushed, and I hear somebody go, oh shit. And then like being like placed into a room. But as to what the hell happened after that, I don't remember what day of the day I was held. I would just remember being completely like locked to the bed. I remember like they had placed me on a 3-day hold, and I was like a 3-day hold, and they were like, no, you can't leave. And I was like, why can't I leave? Find out after like working at another location that even if you don't get discharged, you can and do reserve the right to just walk out of the hospital. They'll consider it a blah 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 discharge, but bitch, suck a dick and eat some cum. I don't know, like you know, had I known then, that would have been the fucking move. Anyway, so I was like, okay, well, when can I get discharged? Because I like, why am I on a 3-day hold, you know? And they're like, oh, you know, we're just want to, you know, you need to get evaluated by your doctor so that you can be discharged. These are the people that are telling me. Like, I want to say the residence assistants or nurses that are telling me this, because I'm calling like every morning. I was calling like, hey, so like, when can I leave? Is the doctor? They're like, no, you can't leave until the doctor comes and does an evaluation. I'm called like. And they kept specifying your doctor. your doctor comes in. And I'm sitting here like, get me out of here. I don't need to be in here. Like, it was actually starting to piss me off, especially when I kept hearing, no, you need to talk to the doctor. No, you got to wait for the doctor. Because doctor or not, nobody came in to even do an initial evaluation, let alone an evaluation for me to be subjected to leave the facility. I don't know how y'all So anyway, so eventually I wait for this miraculous guru of a goddamn fucking doctor to show up, and she's like, yeah, no, she does the assessment. She's like, oh, did you get any, I think you're okay to leave. You are very strong. You're very bright. Sweetheart, I know this, but the fact that I'm here and you're telling me this is pissing me off, because I've been telling these motherfuckers that I'm not supposed to be in here. I don't know how to, but now I think about it. The bitches at the house that were pulling the prank, and when they got pulled into some shit that was deeper than they were okay with stepping in, made up a ruse that I was trying to kill myself. And not that there was a fucking gotcha motherfucking prank that quote unquote went wrong. If you ask me, I don't know. I have experienced some weird activities in the last 3 years. And I would like to say that was the strangest, but somehow I do not think that would be fitting, because there will be more story times. Come here. Okay, he said, fuck you, bitch. You guys can see him. Okay, so yeah, that's the story time about how I, quote unquote, try to kill myself / jumped out of a window. So after some time has passed, I have looked into like what the hell did happen that night, just for a further explanation. I still haven't taken a look at the police report, but I'm sure my findings would be exactly as I suspected, if not very close. But I have noticed that when I did go at the hospital that all of this happened to ask them, like, hey, I just want to know, like, the doctor's note as to, or the nurse's note as to who, or I'm sorry, doctor's note or nurse's note as to who I should talk to when MRIs are like subjected, right? Who gave the approval for the MRI? So when I did go and ask them that question, I was pretty much told that there are no records on their files expressing that any of the things that I even expressed. May I add that I was like, wait, what? And she was like, I'm just trying to help you. And I was like, okay, that's cool, it's great. But there is a $20,000 collection agency fee that, or I'm sorry, letter that I received in the mail expressing that I needed to pay the hospital for my time there. Now, if you like to smoke crack up your ass, that's fine. I don't judge nobody about how they take their substance, okay? Unless it's harmful for others. But I'm gonna need you to stop smoking that crack and tell me how the fuck that work out, okay? And I say that because, like, everything that happened, $20,000 bill that I can't, like, isn't adding up. And the fucking fact that I, for the life of me, ever since that time, cannot seem to ever get away from an ambulance. I don't know if it's like an intimidation tactic or like triggering me to try to like pay a bill. It's not gonna happen. we gonna take it to court if y'all don't figure it out. And bitch, it ain't gonna happen. I'm only saying that because I live in a relatively small town. So like if this was a larger city, I would be like, oh, you know, whatever. Everyday occurrence. And even sometimes at like in the cities, I'll like notice that like I'll notice that ambulance, I don't know what they're doing on their time, but if you look at life regularly and you're not involved in other people's business all the fucking time, you notice a regular pattern to everyday life. And when you start to notice that the everyday pattern that you had been picking up on almost seems to diminish after a major event, like so said event, you start to put the pieces together and you start to recognize somebody trying to play you, bitch. So, yeah. That is how I ended up jumping out of a window and also having a, I guess, beef with a male clinic location. Because, child, I got proof.